Welcome to my review of the Casio digital wristwatch. It's the AE-1200 WHB-3B. In general, this is a review of the Casio Ae-1200. This is a factory custom version which has a nylon Zulu style strap. The box that it came in looks like this. This is the manual. Module 3299 is what it has. It's a multi-language manual. Here is the tag. 3B VDF. I don't know what the VDF stands for. Has a 10-year battery. It's 100-meter water resistant. With your typical G-Shock, you have 200-meter water resistant, which makes it suitable for air diving. This, with only 100-meter, it's okay for swimming, certain water sports, provided they're not too violent. Snorkeling, I guess. It's okay. There's a little plastic bag that covers the watch, and it has a plastic watch stand. This is not the correct watch stand. The person that or the seller that I bought this from, I bought a few watches from them, and they kept sending me the wrong watch stand every time. So anyway, this debuted in about September, October of 2012. I think it's the most handsome classic. I guess it's in the classic lineup of digital wristwatches from Casio. I bought this because I thought it was cool that there was actually a factory custom version of such a cheap digital watch. So this retainer right here is fixed. It's kind of a thin nylon, I mean, it's not a $20 Zulu strap. It's like a $5 to $10 Zulu strap. This one here, the strap keeper, slides around freely. This is like a die cut stamped buckle. It's not cast. It's a little more fussy to put on your wrist than the urethane strap, so I probably have it a little too tight. That's how it looks on my wrist. I like the large size of it. It's octagonal, I guess, but it's kind of like a square with cut corners. It's a handsome watch. That's why I bought it. It's quite handsome, and the buttons stick out plenty, so it's very easy to operate compared to most G-Shocks. The nylon strap is a little itchy. I think I would actually prefer the urethane strap on the plain vanilla version. So as far as size goes, here's the F91. It's quite a bit bigger than the F91, which is this is a kid's watch. The strap is pretty small. It won't fit on large wrists. And even the, let's see, this is the W800H. It's even bigger than that. What I do like about the W800H is that it has fairly sizable digits. And there's no space wasted on eye candy, analog dials, and indicators and stuff. You just have 3 rows of information with fairly sizable digits. And at my age, with 50-year-old eyesight, I would actually probably end up wearing this more than this, even though I like the looks of this way more. You got a 4-screw case back. It's not real thick, so that's typical of a 100-meter water resistance. With a 200-meter water resistance, you'll have a thicker thicker case back. It's 4 buttons. There's no front-mounted light button. The crystal is acrylic. It is not mineral glass. The easy way to tell is to, if you have like a G-Shock, I know this is mineral glass. If I touch my upper lip to the glass, it feels cool, noticeably. And then if you touch your upper lip to an acrylic crystal, it feels lukewarm. So that's the best way I know of to tell whether it's acrylic or glass. So there seems to be 4, possibly 5 different versions of this watch. This is the one I have here, Ae-1200 WHB-3B. I don't know why the price is so high. This is the -1B, and the difference is the -1B has like a green bezel and then a black Zulu style strap. This has a black bezel, green case, and olive green Zulu style strap. Walmart was selling this one, the one in that I'm doing here, reviewing the -3B for $23, but now it seems it went up to $29.99, and now it's out of stock. So I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, this is the plain vanilla version. I think probably the cheapest way to go is just go to your local Walmart store and pick one of these up for $14.41. The list price is $24.95. That's the MSRP. If you look at Casio's website, $24.95. So Casio apparently is officially selling the olive green one, the stainless steel, which is just a stainless steel strap. The case is actually still plastic, and it's painted or coated with something to make it look stainless steel. And then this one, $24.95. But you should never have to pay $24.95 for it's $15 essentially. Myself, I would probably actually prefer this because I find the urethane straps more comfortable than nylon Zulu straps. Now this stainless steel version actually has a nickname. It's called the Casio Royale, and the reason why is because it looks very much like a watch. Well, there were two. The 1983 James Bond film starring Roger Moore. He wore this Seiko G757. Did I have it written down? Yeah, I actually comment. Seiko G757 5020 Sports 100. This one here. So if you look at him and see the watch on his wrist, you can see how it's quite similar to. I guess that's sort of. You can kind of see how it's got that it's got the analog dial in the top left corner, and then sort of a wraparound boot shape LCD. So I think you can see the similarity there from a distance at first glance. Although the Casio Royale is a take on Casino Royale, which starred Daniel Craig, and he actually wore these Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean. So he wore analog watches in that movie. But back in the 80s, digital watches were still in. This is kind of lame here, this graphic. And there's the little orange indicator. That's not part of the actual watch functionality. This is when he's tracking the Fabergé egg. Now this plain vanilla version here is currently number 40 best-selling men's wristwatches, number 40. I think it was number 33 or 32 last week, so it fluctuates. What led me to this watch was I was looking for a Casio wristwatch, just a plain non-G-Shock that had the same functionality that you would find in a typical G-Shock. And the functionality of this is very similar to the GD100 or the G8900 or the GD400. It has multi-time. It does not have flash alert, so there are some minor differences, but otherwise very similar. So, you know, what is the least amount of money I can spend on a Casio wristwatch and still have world time and 5 alarms, countdown timer, stopwatch, etc. That was my goal, and you know, I landed on the Casio Ae-1200. So this is another version. It has kind of a greenish color. It's, I guess, the gold version of the urethane. It has like gold lettering. I think this is probably an import. Is it worth twice the price? Not to me. You know, I mean, it's not much different than this one with the white lettering and kind of a black colored world map here. This is a Ae-1300. This here, I don't know why this is selling for $72. I don't think there's really, I don't know, it looks like a shinier stainless maybe, but it could just be the photo. It's the same except for these last 2 letters on the end, which I don't think really mean anything except for maybe packaging of the market that it's. I would not pay $70. You know, this is a reasonable price. This is what's sold here in the U.S. I don't think there's really any difference between these two, except you pay twice as much. So let's check out the cool functionality here. You got 2 buttons on each side. This is the light button. It's a very cool orange, bright LED. It's a, I don't think it's a backlight, but it works very well. You do have a programmable duration, either 1.5 or 3 seconds. This down here is basically, it has multi-time, so you can switch between 4 different time zones. See, T1, that's your home time. Then you get T2, T3, T4. And if you press and hold this, it goes into an auto display mode where it just keeps changing every couple of seconds from one time zone to another. And you can see the time zones indicated on the world map here. With my eyesight at 50 years old, I can't see this without glasses. And I can't see this, and I pretty much can't see that either. So about the only thing I can see is the time. That's why I probably wouldn't end up actually wearing this watch that much, even though I think it's really cool looking. You just press any button to stop that auto display. Over here on the bottom left, you got the mode button. We can just quickly go through the modes. So this is your home screen, and you've got a simulated analog up here. So these are the seconds. but it has 0 through or 1 through 60 on the dial instead of 1 through 12. So here's your world time. You get 48 cities and 29 zones, I think. And here's your alarm mode. You've got 5 alarms, and that's your hourly chime. This is a countdown timer. It's set to 0, which is the same as 24, so it'll count down from 24 hours when you start it. This is your stopwatch. You got hundredths of a second up here. It goes to 24 hours and starts over again, basically. The reset's over on the adjust button. And then you're back to the home screen. Up here is your adjust button. If you press it momentarily, it'll show you your time zone, your home time zone. One of the neat features is that if you select one of the other 4 time zones, like there's London, and then press these 2 top buttons at the same time, now you can see London is T1. I'll press the adjust button momentarily. So you can switch out your home. You can switch your home time out with any one of the other 3 time zones instantly, just by using these, pressing the 2 A and B buttons at the top. So now Denver is back to the Mountain Time Zone, is back to T1. If you press and hold it, this is where you can do your adjustment, 0 out the seconds. You can turn daylight savings time on or off, which just changes the hour here. Some places it's called summertime. A lot of places in the world they no longer bother with this garbage. So let's go to using the mode button. We'll go to the next setting. This is where you can change your home time zone. If you press and hold, it'll scroll through them fairly quickly. Los Angeles, the Western Time Zone. There we go. Okay. Press the mode button. You can adjust your hours, minutes. You can have a 12-hour display or 24-hour display. This is your year. It's a full auto calendar, and it's good to the year 2099. So it automatically knows the day of the week, how many days there are in a month, even the leap years. So it'll automatically add the 29th day of February, provided you have it set to the right year. So this is nice. This is an upgrade compared to like the F91. Although the W800H has a full auto calendar as well. It just doesn't have 5 alarms and world time. Okay, so pressing the mode button, you can set your month, day of month, and then this is your light, your afterglow for your backlight. So 3 seconds or 1.5 seconds. And then we're back to the start. So that's all there is for the adjustments. Okay, that's better. This is more accurate. Yeah. It's a nice orange color. It's better than what you're seeing in the video. That's all I can say. So now let's look at the first mode, the world time mode. It's pretty straightforward. You can only go eastward by pressing the bottom right button here. If you press this button, that just turns on the illumination. The adjust button doesn't do anything, so yeah, you can only go eastward. Now one thing you can do, it does have UTC. If you're in any other time zone but UTC, if you press and hold the adjust button, it'll toggle daylight savings time on or off for that particular time zone. It doesn't affect any of the others. And yeah, that's it. All right, now let's look at the second mode, which is the alarm mode. You got 5 alarms. You can switch down at the bottom right here through the 5 alarms. This is your hourly chime, sounds at the top of the hour, just a beep tone. You can just turn it on or off using the adjust button. And you've got a little indicator up here, signal. Let's go to alarm number 1. If you press the adjust button, you can set this. The indicator alarm is on. This, is always there in any mode. So this is a one-time alarm. That means that it'll sound for one day, and then it's off following. Press the adjust button again. This will sound every day at the program time, and then you can turn it off. If you press and hold the adjust button, you can set the actual time. So this would be 6 a.m. Using the mode button, you can program the minutes, and then you can either have it a one-time, you can have it every day. So this will sound at 6 a.m. every day. Now it's off every day, and now it's 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's it. And then it'll switch off with a one-time on. Yeah, so you can do the same thing for any one of these 5 alarms. If you press and hold the bottom right button, it's an alarm test, just to let you know that it's working. And that's it. Nothing else in the alarm mode. So let's take a look at the third mode, which is the countdown timer. So you've got tenths of a second here. There's no extra features to it, like auto repeat or flash alert or anything. If you have it set to 0, it's the same as doing a 24-hour countdown. And this is the start stop button at the bottom right, and then the adjust button momentarily. That's what resets it to 0. So you can set it by hours, minutes, and seconds, which is pretty cool. And let's just do a 5-second countdown so you can see what the alarm is like. I guess that, I don't know, was that 10 seconds? So it just counts down once, and then it resets to whatever you had it programmed for. And that's it. Pretty basic. So now let's take a look at the fourth and final mode, the stopwatch. It's just your standard typical digital watch stopwatch with hundredths of a second here. The current time keeps on displaying in the analog, and you can stop and resume using the stop button. So it's at 10.16 seconds, and it'll start from there. Now if you stop it and then press the adjust button momentarily, that resets it. You can also do lap times or split times. So instead of hitting the stop button, you press the adjust button momentarily, and you see it shows split. So it just freezes the time on the screen, but the stopwatch is still running in the background. That's why you see these flashing colon here. And as soon as you press the adjust button momentarily, it shows you where the current elapsed time is. So you can do this as often as you want. You'll have to write down the numbers. And then if you press the stop button, it stops it. So you can do first and second place finish. That's basically what I just demonstrated. If you start it, and then when the first place competitor crosses the finish line or whatever, you press the adjust button, and then second place press the stop button. So this is your first place finisher. Oh, 12 seconds flat. How'd I do that? And then if you press the adjust button, it shows your second place finisher at 14.19 seconds. And then when you press the adjust button again, it sets it to 0. And so it's just the standard like digital watch stopwatch. Although I prefer to have the reset over here, but generally you need to have a separate front mounted light button in order to have the reset over here. Yeah, that's all there is to it. With this watch, you can use a mode, and then the next time you press the mode button, it will keep advancing to the next mode. I actually prefer it this way. Some Casio watches, it'll automatically return to the home screen, but this one just keeps on advancing even if you use the mode. So, can't start the countdown timer, and it still advances to stopwatch. So there's the countdown timer. It reset itself. You just press any button to stop it. You'll notice that there's a change. There's like a low-pitched beep and then a high-pitched beep when you get back to the home screen. So 1, 2, 3. So when you get back to the home screen, you hear like a higher pitched beep. That's everything. That's all the functionality that I know of, except for test mode. So seeing as how I mentioned test mode, I guess I better show it. So you press the two left side buttons and the bottom right button at the same time. You have to press them all simultaneously, and you get that, which basically lights up everything. So you can find out exactly, what the watch is capable of. Is there an AM? No, there's no AM indicator. There's just PM. I like it when there's both AM and PM, down here. So if you press the bottom right button, it does a little different test here. I'm not sure what the point of that is. And then it shows the module number, sort of. It doesn't quite match. I mean, the module is actually 3299. Maybe it started out as a 3198, or maybe that's the firmware, or I'm not sure. Then 130, don't really know what that means. So that's the Casio Ae-1200. I highly recommend it. If you don't want to spend a lot of money and you want to have world time and 5 alarms and a 10-year battery that, will probably outlast your interest in continuing to wear the watch. After a few years, it'll probably be pretty scratched up depending on your lifestyle. So, the battery should outlast. You'll probably never have to change it. Let's put it that way. And it's going to take care of you for, most any kind of rain or swimming. Just don't go diving with it. Don't go air diving. Very handsome looking. The only negative really is that you know, once you get into your 40s and your eyesight starts to go, you probably won't be able to see a lot of the you won't be able to see much of anything except for the time. You know, I'm 50 years old. I can't see this. I can't see the little indicator on the world map. I can't see these little analog hands. So for me, I would end up wearing something like this W800H, where you know, all of the day of the week, everything's fairly large size. So I can still read it even though I'm an ancient geezer. But this is, you know, it's smaller. It's not as cool looking. So that's it. I'll see you in another video soon, no doubt.